I came across something pretty magical. It's in the permacultural gardening world. It's called a Hugelkultur. It's a German technique. And this thing, its properties, it's something I've never heard of. And I actually had the chance to work at a friend's house she had a bunch of logs just laying around, and they were starting to, get old and decay. And so, why not make a hugel out of them? We dug a 2-foot deep trench and just tossed a bunch of logs down there. You don't have to necessarily bury them. You can just put them on top of the surface, but we went and buried them, and we just try to assemble them really tight, kind of played a Tetris in a way. And once the big ones went, then we started just stacking smaller ones around and went high. You don't have to go high, but I was inspired by Sepp Holzer, and I wanted to make this one relatively high. And then all you do is just you add a bunch of extra debris, other organic matter, and then you end up burying it. So the hole that we dug, we're gonna reuse that dirt to put back on top, plus additional. But before that, I really secured this thing down with some branches. I probably overdid it because this thing was extremely hard to move, and I feel like it would work properly if it was a little bit more loose. Then I would also advise to, when it comes to making it, building it up, do it lasagna style. So put some wood starting from the beginning, and then add dirt, and then more wood, and then add dirt, because I felt like some of the dirt was hard to get into those little crevices and the little spaces in between. And I only added sticks. You can add a bunch of other organic matter. And then I added a little bit extra dirt because I wanted to make it a little bit higher, as high as I could, but the slope was pretty hard, so it ended up being a little narrow. And then I added some mulch on top. You can use different types of mulch. There's I would honestly recommend hay or straw bale, but for aesthetics we went with wood chips. I tried to stack them on by itself to see if it would hold its place, but they kept on sliding. But that can easily be resolved with a technique that I saw in another video. It's a stick and a fork, and the fork is made from branches, which is pretty cool, resourceful. And all you do is just lay down the stick and just drive in the nails, and then what that does is it just holds the mulch for it to be able to hold down its position rather than keep on sliding. And then you can either directly sow, obviously before you put the mulch on, or just transplant. I transplanted just the lettuce to show you guys how it would come out. And then you would just, once you transplant, just make sure you pull the mulch back on, and that's pretty much it. Simple as that. This technique brings in a couple of interesting properties. Because if you're doing the Sepp Holzer mound, which I made a narrow mound, it adds sun-facing side and shade casting side, and it's really interesting because you could plant those plants that love the sun, that love the heat on the on the sunny side, and then the cooler plants that love the shade on the other. And as well, I've heard from another video that you can grow the same things on both sides, and you'll get different flavors and tastes because of the amount of saturation from the sun, which is really cool, to mess with flavor, and if you're really into culinary. Another aspect too is that the water usage. It can accommodate for thirsty plants that would go on the lower part of the hugel, and plants that just need a little bit of watering would go a little bit higher up the mound. And the way that this thing works is that the logs act like a sponge, and they soak up all the water. And if done properly, you only have to irrigate once or twice, if that. I've heard of mounds that didn't even need to get irrigated, and the yields were amazing, which is pretty insane considering if you're in a drought or if it's hard to source water. This thing starts getting better and better throughout the years. The wood starts decaying and slowly starts releasing nutrients into the plants. And then eventually you just have a big mound of soil. It all would turn back into soil. So you're actually replenishing and creating soil. So this technique is awesome. It's the first that I've ever seen. Fortunately, there are not that many in California. This one's in Benicia, California. If you're driving around, go check it out. But I'd say this is pretty cool. My first hugel, and I'll definitely be doing things differently on my next. Another aspect too is it's great for the elderly or for people that have bad backs. The higher the mound, the easier it is to yield without straining. Other than that, I mean, there's obviously a lot of other benefits that I'm probably forgetting, but creativity with hugelkultur it's a great combination. I mean, you can either make a simple one like that, or you can even kind of make a little snake or an arc, or there's so many possibilities. Yeah, so this is an awesome technique that I want to further get into, and if you have any questions or advice or anything like that, I'm open for them, and I hope to see more hugels out in the block. So go find some old wooden logs in the forest if necessary, or you can just contact any people that are cutting down some wood, and they'll donate it to you, and build yourself a hugelkultur. It doesn't have to be this complicated. It can be just a regular bed, like a regular raised bed. That works perfectly. Yeah, get your hugel on. Catch you guys later.